and you each are very strongly and adamantly, no, 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 these are the people I want and I'm not going to compromise, then we may end up almost with like really two separate plans. So now we are going into what I call the big four questions. For some clients, it ends up being only 3 of them, but we're definitely going to cover all of them, especially since that 4th one could be a really big one for blended families. But the first one, the first big decision, and the question is, who do you trust to handle financial decisions for you if you can't? So if you can't make decisions on something because you're incapacitated or you've passed on, the scenario that I'm typically giving is, all right, everything gets put together, your plan is in place, the couple drives out and bang, they're in a car accident. And now they're both in the hospital in a coma for 3 months. Who's going to grab the checkbook, pay the bills, move money around, keep everything afloat so that when you get out of the hospital, you're not left with things being repossessed, utilities turned off, things in foreclosure? Someone has to keep your life going.
If you think it's important for educational videos like this to get out there, then please help us out by subscribing to the channel.
But at the same time, if you don't make it out of the hospital, you pass on. All right, who's the person in charge of making sure that all of your final arrangements are handled and taken care of, all your debts and taxes are taken care of, and then the money gets to the people it's supposed to get to and when it's supposed to get to them? Now, we're going to talk about looking for 3 people at a minimum. It could be more, but it's 1 person at a time. So, in a lot of cases, the first person, which doesn't count towards the 3, is that spouse or partner. All right, they're the person they trust most. They're going to handle things. They're each other's first, but now we're looking for a list of 3. So it's a successor trustee, but this is also a power of attorney. This is the executor of a pour-over will. It's anything dealing with legal or financial things or personal things for you not related to healthcare. But we'll just start it with as a successor trustee. But no co-trustees. Right, this is probably one of our top 5 strongest recommendations that's pretty much across the board. Don't put 2 people in charge of the same financial thing or healthcare or any of that for whatever reason. 1 person at a time. Well, and here's the thought is, 1, it's a lot of work. We can spread it around by having more than 1 person. What I can tell you financially, the trend with a lot of banks and financial institutions is they're not going to care except between, spouses or partners who are joint on that account. They are not going to care if you say, oh, we got co-trustees, but either one of them can act for the other and they don't have to get approval, whatever. Financial institutions are going to go, no, we want everybody to sign everything. Is that fair? No. Is that legal? Yeah, because in a lot of cases when you're signing up to open an account and they've got this language in there that says, hey, we can change the rules anytime we want, a lot of financial institutions with conflicting co-trustees or co-powers of attorney have gotten burned because the document says either one can do whatever they want. They go in, and then the other one comes in and is, why did you do this? I'm going to get my attorney involved. You shouldn't have ever done that. They don't want to be part of it. So if you have more than 1 trustee or power of attorney, they're going to make them do everything. So now you've actually doubled the work you haven't spread it around to people. So with that happening, it's best to just make it one person at a time. Another thing that I've seen, and I've had clients come in with pre-existing documents and, hey, should we update this, or they moved in from out of state. They're actually picking co-trustees as one from each side of the family. And there's definitely bias towards their relative, which just creates more conflict naturally. So, one person at a time. And there are, like I just mentioned, sides of the family issues where there may be people arguing, well, I want it to be my brother, or I want it to be my sister. Okay, there's got to be some kind of harmony here for the most part. But this is going to get to some of those structural items. If you have, quote, different sides, and you each are very strongly and adamantly, no, these are the people I want and I'm not going to compromise, then we may end up almost with really two separate plans. But if you can come to agreement on here's the list of people, and when you're talking about sides of the family, maybe the solution is you're not going to have anyone from either side. You're going on to friends. People that you mutually know and trust who can be in that list, but they're not from either side of the family. So, former spouses or the other parent. Sometimes your selections have to be to prevent interference from a former spouse or partner or another parent of one of the children that are involved in the blended family. And I'm just going to give this example. There's a man and a woman. They were married. They had a kid. And the father's mother always had a fantastic relationship with his wife. They get divorced. But the mom is still on good terms with her former daughter-in-law and is very deferential and, well, look, it's my grandson's or my granddaughter's parent, so I'm going to maybe the husband in the new relationship with the blended family, naming his mom to be in that trustee list might not be the best idea. So you are really looking a lot at not just current family dynamics, but past family dynamics, and whether or not, and I mean, the opposite could be true. They absolutely hate them, and so they're going to do whatever they can to punish them. You don't want that either. You want someone that you trust, whose judgment you trust, who is going to be able to manage the money in a very clear-headed way. They don't need to be financial experts, but they can hire or work with financial advisors and accountants and attorneys and things like that to get the job done. But you always have to be aware that a former spouse or partner or the other parent of the child that's in this blended family in some manner might be interfering in some way or could. And so your choices have to also be aware of that. So that's the first big question. And again, we look for one person after each other. One person, a backup, and then a third just in case. And I'm going to mention right now that third person is difficult enough as it is. Blended family situations, it might be even more difficult, but don't give up on trying to find that person. I've spent 20, 25 minutes alone talking with my clients and trying to figure out who that third person would be. And it's very easy to say, oh, well, let's just forget it, or let's skip it, or let's move on and we'll come back to it. No. Think long and hard about this, about who would be in that position. Because I can tell you, in all the years I've been doing this, we've gone through 2 people. But so far, knock on wood, we've never gone through 3.